All right, got the webcam fixed, and welcome back to the Charles in Charge Cowboy Sports Report. As I am attempting to do a live show Saturday, January 6th, about 3:10 Central Time, my time, about 24 hours, a little less than 24 hours, a little more than 24 hours before kickoff at Washington tomorrow. The game that will lock up the two seed for us, the game that will lock up two home games, being that we win the first one. Have a few things I'm gonna hit on. Got some fire to uh to touch on, but the hell I do with my phone? Hold on 1 second, people. There it is. Show is still young and growing. If y'all can hit that red subscribe button, guys, it costs you nothing. It's a free investment. I'm at 386. My first goal is to get to 500 by the season's end. By the end of the season, I can get to 500 with the help of my brothers and sisters that bleed the blue and silver just like I do. Then the off season, I hit 1,000. This show will take off. I'll be able to put back in it with studio equipment, sound bites, get a desktop to link with this laptop so I can have filming graphics and a call-in line. So I'm doing live shows like this. And there's a decent crowd gathered, in the chat. People can call in post game, pre game, during the week, speak their mind. Law Nation's the only one I know that has a call line on a consistent basis, and it blows my mind because that seems to be, the biggest thing for a live show. But this show will be a gem, and this show will become one of the shows you look forward to watching, just like the Law Nation, like Mark Holmes or Mike Fisher. But this show is not like, Fish at Six. Mike Fisher's he's a journalist, been covering the Cowboys 34 years, works for SI now. He's at the store every day, so he has factual news and knows the players and whatnot. So if you want actual facts and real line stories, you go watch him. If you want to talk Cowboys, talk ball, you know, you come here. My first game was Super Bowl 28 against Buffalo. That night, I was 6 years old that night. I don't even know why. First time I ever saw the Cowboys, fell in love. And since then, I've bled blue, lived and died with every game. First game, Super Bowl 28. Played my entire youth, been a student of the game my entire life. So, it's hitting the 3-minute mark here. I'm going to give a chance for some people to get in. I didn't schedule this. I just kind of did this off a whim. So hopefully, all I need is like 5, 6 people, and I can put together a pretty good live show. But let me handle this one thing real quick. Let me handle this one thing real quick. I've got some fire to spit, but I need some people to talk back to. Playoffs start right now, really. In my opinion, playoffs start now. And the playoffs start on the road. Even though we're not playing against any kind of juggernaut on the road, playoffs start on the road against Washington this Sunday. Injury report. Seems like there's this flu bug that's been going around the locker room last month. You had Wanye Thomas, Chuma Doga, and Chauncey Golston sick earlier this week, all with the same illness. Jonathan Hankins, they say he's questionable with his high ankle sprain. Torrance Armstrong probably won't play with his ankle. And Tyler Smith, I don't see him playing. I don't see why. I would sit Hankins another week, let the high ankle sprain heal 100%. So wild card weekend, he's ready to roll. The two guys I would not play on purpose: Jonathan Hankins, Tyron Smith. Even if Tyler Smith don't play, I don't expect him to. It gives Lyle Collins a chance to get some live reps this season at left tackle or left guard, either one. Him, Chuma, TJ Bass, combination of the three, or they can rotate. This team doesn't have Chase Young or Montez Sweat anymore, so you don't have to worry about, those killers coming off the edge. Now they do. Now, also, Jonathan Allen is not going to play. He's out. So Deron Payne is the only defensive tackle you really got to worry about. And if you don't line up over Zach, and he lines up over the left guard, whoever it may be, then you can have a double team on that, and the rest, our line can handle the rest. Jonathan Allen being out is big, and then Washington also has three cornerbacks that are going to be out. One of them, Kendall Fuller, the cornerback number one. And Andrew Wiley, their right tackle, left tackle, I forget. He is doubtful. He probably won't go. Even though we are 3-5 on the road, we should finish 4-5 on the road. And the old saying goes, you win all your home games, you split on the road. That's your key to the playoffs. Usually, you key to the division. Um, but with Washington having three cornerbacks out and Jonathan Allen out, we'll have, our offensive line will be a makeshift offensive line, but they should be able to handle that. Washington front, Washington secondary is not that good. We should be able to put this game away by halftime. Seriously, by halftime. Come out the third quarter with our guys, our starters with ball caps on, sitting on the bench. Cooper Rush out there and company, throwing it to Jalen Tolbert. You know what I mean? Throwing it to that seventh round pick receiver that I guaranteed wouldn't make it because I looked at his combine results and I was like, man, he's you don't have size, you don't have speed. Like I'm surprised you drafted him, but he made the team and he's looked good anytime he's gotten playing time. I always forget it. Jalen Brooks, yeah. See Brooks out there in the second half. We should have this game put away by halftime. Approaching the 8-minute mark. It's Saturday right now. I don't think any other big time people are live right now. See, Law's not live. Mike's not live. Mike Fisher, Mark Holmes ain't live. Maybe a lot of people are busy, or maybe just nobody wants to hear me right now. I'll wait till the 10-minute mark. If the 10-minute mark, if nobody really jumps in, I'll just shut this down, delete it, and just do a regular video. Those work pretty good too. Being that whenever you have a small channel, doing live shows are hit and miss. Some can be pretty good, and then sometimes you can have a crickets chirping in the background, and wonder why you have crickets chirping. Well, that's why. But actually, going live is the same as cutting a video, I guess. Got one person that jumped in here so far. It's Saturday. It's mid-Saturday. And we've got some fire to talk about. Law's not live right now. Mark Holmes ain't live. Mike Fisher ain't live. A lot of the big cats ain't live right now. So, shit, let's get in it. I'm at 386. I'm going to hit 500 by the end of the season. That's my goal. Hit 1,000 by off season. This channel will grow into a big-time channel. Y'all will look forward to watching me. I can guarantee you that. The one person that did jump in, what's your score prediction against Washington? I see a lot of talking heads saying this is the kind of game that we'd blow. This is 2023. I keep telling everybody. This is not the 2009 Cowboys, the 06 Cowboys. This ain't last year's Cowboys. This ain't the 2021 Cowboys. This is this year's Cowboys. and we have championship pedigree players on this team. And we have a coach that does have a piece of hardware on his hand, be it 13 years ago, but it was in our stadium where we win tomorrow, we'll have two games at. And the path of least resistance seems to be very, very plausible the way the Rams are playing right now. Because we won't see the Rams. Only way we see the Rams is with our seed is if they win, if they're the only wild card team to win. They're going to play Detroit. We win tomorrow, we're the 2 seed. Philly, Tampa, and then Green Bay probably comes to us. So then, well, actually, hell, the 3 seed, Detroit. If the Rams beat Detroit, you got the 6 seed. We beat Green Bay, you got the 2 seed, 6 seed, and then Tampa or Philly. So we would have to. Yeah. So if we handle business and the Rams beat Detroit, which I think they will, Rams are playing real hot right now, and they know what it takes to win a Super Bowl. They have playoff victories. They have a Super Bowl victory, Super Bowl winning coach, Super Bowl winning quarterback. Dak, they say he's the best quarterback in the NFC, but a healthy Matthew Stafford is the real best quarterback in the NFC. So if the Rams beat Detroit, then no matter who wins against Philly or Tampa Bay, the Rams would be going to San Fran round 2. That's the path of least resistance. We want the Rams to beat Detroit. And we take care of business against whether it be Green Bay or Seattle. I would prefer it to be the Packers, but the Seahawks come back. So be it. We'll play them round 2. First game was a tight one at home. But I don't believe Dan Quinn's defense will allow 35 again against that Seattle offense, even though that Seattle offense didn't have Kenneth Walker playing that particular day. Our offense made some mistakes, but I think we'll have it cleaned up and be playing our best ball come that wild card weekend. The Rams can make the playoffs a lot easier on us because if they go to Detroit, knock them off, which I believe they will, then they'll be going to San Francisco. And if anybody can beat San Fran in the playoffs, the Rams are one of them. Even though San Fran beats the Rams twice a year, every year in the regular season, when it counts in the playoffs, the Rams can pull it out like they did 2 years ago in the chip game. So the Rams went to Detroit, round 1, knocked them off, then went to San Fran and divisional game, you never know, and pulled that out. That would, the road to Vegas would go through Frisco. Let's say we got Green Bay round 1, hypothetically. I believe we can. I believe there are 2 different tiers of teams right there. Green Bay is not in our tier. We knocked them off, right off. Then round 2, we would have Tampa or Philly come to our stadium. If the Eagles, because Darius Slay is petitioning to the coaches for the Eagles not to rest Week 18 against the Giants, and he has a point. Because if the Eagles rest and sit on their ass Week 18, I don't see them coming out wildcard weekend to Tampa and knocking off a Tampa team that's playing a lot better than a nose-diving Eagles team. Eagles are 1-4 in their last 5 games. Complete nosedive. So Philly or Tampa can come into our house Week 2. And I'm confident against both. I would like Philly to. I would like Philly to pull off a close one against Tampa wildcard weekend and then come to our crib Week 2 because the Rams beat Detroit and us give Philly another beatdown, the second of the season at home. Oh, that would just put the cherry on top of what we're trying to do here. if we have Philly come into our house round two and we give them another beat down. If they just slide, barely slide by Tampa Bay. Baker Mayfield has a Baker Mayfield game that was like 3 picks to some backup cornerbacks. And that offense can't move that ball against defense. They can't stop the run or the pass. We knock off Green Bay, welcome Philly into our house, and give them a beatdown round two. That'd be the cherry on the top for the playoffs. And then, like I said, the Rams are one of the teams that can beat San Fran in the postseason. And they round one they go to Detroit. I think the Rams will win that game. They're gonna rest tomorrow. They're gonna rest their guys. Tomorrow is their bye week. Matthew Stafford, Aaron Donald, all them key vets that won the Super Bowl 2 years ago will be chilling on the sideline in street clothes. And they're going to come out wild card weekend at Detroit. Detroit hasn't played in the playoffs very, very often. But 2014 was the last time I think they were in the postseason. 2015 maybe. I know we beat them 2014 in the wild card round, but they haven't won the division in 30 years. They haven't won a playoff game in 30 years. That was the last time they won a playoff game. So Lions don't have much postseason experience. And you got a Rams team who has a buttload of it coming into their house. And they've been playing real good. Even though the Giants gave them a game, the Giants are trying to end the season on a high note. Brian Dable wants to end the season on a high note to go into the offseason feeling good about what they can do in his third year. That's why they almost beat Philly 2 weeks ago. It was a 2-point game in the fourth quarter. They're giving everybody everything they have in that, like they will week 18. Even if Philly sits their starters, the Giants are going to bring everything they got to get that W. Even though it's going to push them back in the draft a few spots, Brian Dable will rather get that win against a backup Eagles team than get that L. So Lyle Collins, we bring him in. We immediately put him at left guard. He's getting reps at left guard. 2015, when he was a first-round prospect, but was caught up in a case where his ex-girlfriend got killed. He had, he wasn't a suspect, but it made his draft stock plummet to where he was undrafted. So we got a steal by getting him. He was a left tackle, started with us at left guard, played great at that position. I mean, I don't know why we moved him to right tackle. I know Doug Free retired, but I'd have rather drafted a right tackle and kept him at left guard. I mean, interior lineman, really good for the run game. My question is if in the postseason, because they asked him if he could play left tackle, which he hasn't played since he's been in the NFL, played that in college. And he said, yeah, I could play that, right now. I was glad we brought him in because he's fully recovered from the knee injury he suffered week 16 of last season. And if during the postseason, God forbid, Tyron Smith or Terrence Steele or say Tyler Smith is just having trouble with his foot and needs another week, you know what I mean? Can Lyle Collins come in and play right tackle, left tackle, or left guard at a high level to where we don't miss a beat, to where it's not noticeable? If Ty Smith has a neck stinger and he's out for a game, can Lyle Collins play left tackle and not miss a beat? Unlike Chuma Doga at Miami, who was god awful. I mean, he wasn't Chaz Green god awful, but he made some plays that made the game really hard on Dak. The play that everybody saw when he let Chubb go right by him because he saw number 51 might blitz. That linebacker was 6 yards away. Bradley Chubb is right there. You block the man that's closest and the man you're supposed to block. And so he lets Chubb run by, and the linebacker doesn't blitz, so he decides to help out his buddy, Tyler Smith, in blocking the defensive tackle. Bradley Chubb is a beeline right to Dak Prescott. Can Lyle Collin be the guy that saves the day if one of our top guys go down? Now, he doesn't play right guard. No. Zach goes out, TJ Bass will be in that position. TJ Bass played left guard against Detroit because he was best suited for the job, better than Chuma. But that Lyle Collins pickup could render really, really big, really, really huge, even if one of our, one of those three guys I mentioned got just knocked out for the game and would be okay to come back for the next game, but just got knocked out for, the second half of a game. Could Lyle come in and us not miss a beat? And will Damian Wilson really help this run defense? Now the guys I would be sitting tomorrow, healthy or not, would be Jonathan Hankins and Tyron Smith, for sure. Hankins, they say he's questionable, high ankle sprain. That man don't need to play. Let him sit and be 100% come January because he is our only number one nose tackle, one technique. That guy makes a difference in the run game. Had we had him in Buffalo, maybe it'd have been a different story. We don't know. But yeah, Tyron Smith and Jonathan Hankins, I would definitely sit tomorrow. Even if Tyler don't play, even if 73 don't play, I'm still sitting those two guys. Because Jonathan Allen's going to be out, one of their two star defensive tackles. So Deron Payne's the only guy you got to worry about. They don't have Chase Young or Montez Sweat anymore. Ron Rivera will be a free agent on Monday. So you sit those guys. Zach Martin probably will play. He's a gamer. He don't like sitting out unless the 2 seed was already locked up. He might chill, but it's not, and he knows that, so he's not. CeeDee Lamb isn't either. But we should have this game sewed up by halftime. Come out there with no injuries, and then start wild card weekend 100% healthy. With finally, hopefully, some real offensive line depth. Because what we've had through the season, Chuma Doga being our number one backup lineman, followed by TJ Bass. I don't know. Hopefully, Asim Richards is taking note. Playing behind Tyron Smith all season. Hopefully, this kid's taking notes. Now, All Pro, right? I take All Pro kind of for real. You know what I mean? It's a lot more real than uh, the Pro Bowl, I would say, right? So we had what seven guys make All Pro. CeeDee Lamb makes first team All Pro, right? Deservingly so. Tyreek Hill, CeeDee Lamb, and they had AJ Brown. They had AJ Brown make first team All Pro, which was total BS because the last 5 games he hasn't put up the numbers he was putting up in all receiving stats. He's not a top 3 receiver. Second team All Pro I can buy, but not first team All Pro. We had Zach Martin, right guard, first team All Pro. He's perennial first team All Pro. And then left tackle, first team All Pro was, of course, Trent Williams, right? Now, for people that don't know, the Pro Bowl is AFC, NFC. All Pro is the entire league. It's the roster. It's the best of the best for the entire league. So it's not, one conference. It's interconference. So Trent Williams, number one left tackle, first team All Pro. Second team All Pro left tackle this season, Tyron Smith. That's got to tell you something. That these Tyron Wednesdays work. And when he plays, he is a top 2 left tackle in the league still. Second team All Pro left tackle. There's a lot of good left tackles out there. And Tyron Smith was better than all of them except for Trent Williams, who is on just his own level at that position. whenever Trent is not playing for San Fran, they're missing a third of their offense. That's how big of a player he is for them. But this is the last year of Tyron's deal. It was all incentive based. Base salary was $3 million, and the rest was all playtime. I would re-sign him to a 1 or 2 year deal because I don't think he's done. I don't think he's done. I think he has a good 2 years left in him. As long as you keep those Tyron Wednesdays up, have him do a Friday and Saturday walkthrough, and put the pads on Sunday. It's all he's got to do because he knows how to play the game. He doesn't have to practice every week. You know what I mean? He don't need to do all that. He's got it like that. And during that time, maybe a Seaton Richards or you draft somebody to wait in the wings, learn from him. So by the time he does hang it up, you have a left tackle primed and ready to take over that spot. Could be Tyler if you find a really good left guard in the draft. That's a future problem. It's a good problem to have too. But Lamb, Zach Martin, first team All Pro in the offense. Tyler Smith, Tyron Smith, second team All Pro. Micah Parsons, first team edge rusher. Deron Bland, first team at cornerback. 5 pick sixes will get you first team. And kicker Brandon Aubrey, of course, made first team All Pro. But yeah, I didn't agree with AJ Brown making first team. And Jalen Johnson for the Bears made second team All Pro at cornerback. That's why at the trade deadline, man, I was banging the table for us to go get that cat, man. Jalen Johnson can ball out. He's on the last year of his deal. I mean, give Chicago a second round pick and Deshaun Wright, or something along those lines. And then in the offseason, when he commands a huge deal, you let him walk, and you most likely get a third round comp pick. I mean, I would have burnt the midnight oil to get that boy on this team this season, man. He would have replaced Trayvon. Deron would have went back to the slot, and our defense would have been that much better. Had Trayvon not gone down in the middle of week 2 and 3, this defense would have been better than it has, and it hasn't been bad. But I mean, it would have been a top 3 defense all season. Having Trayvon and Stephon completely healthy, and then playing in the slot, we could play cover one every damn play and played it well. Jalen Johnson, man, I really thought we was going to grab him, but the help that we brought in this week, we even brought in this power running back, from Seattle. Forget the guy's name. Law Nation put a little video out on him. He's more of a hammer. He's that guy that gets you 1-2 yards in a cloud of dust. It's kind of what we've been missing. So hopefully inside the 5 yard line, he can make a difference. We'll see. I don't know. But hopefully so. That's pretty much what he is, a hammer. That's why I was saying, man, whenever we let Zeke Elliott go, I thought we'd re-sign him for $3-4 million, $5 million. I'd even give him 5 because of how much he brought to this team. He wasn't a 1,000 yard rusher anymore. He wasn't a lone back, 3 down back anymore. But he was the hammer that went with the lightning. That's Tony Pollard, and that combination was hard to stop. Zeke would run into that defensive line, get 2 yards in a cloud of dust, and do that enough times to soften them up to whenever Pollard would get the ball, he'd go 20, 30 yards. I mean, it was a beautiful setup that we had. And for us not to bring him back, we would have brought him back for a vet minimum, but he's worth a little bit more than that still. And our running game would have been better this year had he have been on this team. And if we do make it to Vegas, and if we do get that number 6, and you see Dak up there on the podium holding up that trophy with CD and Tank Lawrence and everybody that Elliott played with, it would just it would feel like something's missing not having Zeke up there with them. You know what I mean? Especially being 1 year removed from the team. Like Tiki Barber retired in after the '06 season, and then the next following year, Giants won the Super Bowl. If Tiki would have just played one more season, he could have been part of that. But I don't know. It's like I don't understand why players get so greedy. Zeke Elliott had made the second most money than any running back in NFL history. In NFL history, Ezekiel Elliott had made the second most money than any other running back to ever play the game. So he had made his money. And this team was primed and ready to make a run. And he knew he wasn't the Zeke of 2016, 2018, 2017. Those first 3 years, where he'd run through a brick wall, hurdle a guy, and, go 60 yards. But he's still with a chip on his shoulder, everybody doubting him wearing his college number to remind him where he came from. I knew he was going to come out playing well this season. He hasn't done bad with New England. You know, why wouldn't he just take a vet minimum deal? 1 year vet minimum deal, play a really good season, and in the off season, if you want to go somewhere else, go somewhere else. You probably get a big contract, but play the season to go get that ring, Zeke. Why would you sign with New England when you know in your heart of hearts the Patriots are not going to the Super Bowl and they'd be lucky to get into the playoffs? I mean, is an extra couple million that important to you as much as how much is enough with these players? That's what I don't understand. How much is it? You can make so much money in this life, but when you're playing this sport, the goal is to win that Super Bowl. When you play in high school football, that goal is to win that state championship. Now you got to be on a damn good team to do that, but that's the goal. Or get in the playoffs at least. College football. The top teams every year. Their goal is to get into that college playoff and to get to that college bowl game, the championship bowl game, and to win the college championship. That is the goal. Why else play the game? Besides getting on to, the NFL draft. So as a professional player, after you've made so much money, why isn't your primary goal to win that Super Bowl or multiple Super Bowls? That glory. We play to win the game, and for Zeke to go to New England for a couple more $1 million, knowing that he's not going to have a winning season. Hell, they're the second worst team in the league right now. They'll have the number 2 pick in the draft. Was it worth it, man? I would like to ask Zeke that. Was it worth it? When you could have taken a 1 year vet minimum deal with us, because I know Jerry and Steven wouldn't have paid you, $4 or $5 million. Taking a 1 year vet minimum deal with us to really help us get to where we want to go and get that ring and sit there next to Dak and hoist that trophy up with him. Wouldn't that be more worth it than a few extra million that you get with New England? Because you got plenty of money put away already. Unless he's a Mike Tyson type spender. Mike Tyson made over 400 million in the early '90s, and late '90s he was broke. I don't know. I don't understand that. I don't understand that way of thinking. Money makes things easier, but it don't make you happy, and you cannot take it with you. Now Tank Lawrence, he's making a buttload of money. He's made the most guaranteed money than any defensive end in NFL history. And pretty soon here, he's going to have to be taking a pay cut. Now, will he be willing to do that if we have the squad that is good enough to get to February? I think he would, because he's made a ton of money since 2019 when he held out and he got his guaranteed contract. Every year after that, his contract's been reworked and guaranteed for that season. So he's made a lot of money. So I think Tank Lawrence is hungry to win now. And if he had to take a pay cut, wouldn't mind doing it. That's my opinion. We don't know until we cross that that road. Like you see Zach Martin this all season kind of throw a fit, being that he wasn't a top paid right guard, even though he's the best right guard. Hey, what's going on, Matt? How you doing, brother? It's all right, you late, man. I've been talking to myself for about 35 minutes now, but yeah, I'm doing all right. Passed out a bunch of flyers with my two little ones. Got a 5-year-old and a 8-year-old, and I paid them both $2 a piece to help me pass out flyers around the neighborhood that we just moved into 2 months ago. Did that, and then I was like, it'd be perfect time to go live. Middle of the day, wife's not here, nothing to really do. So, yeah, I've been talking to myself and been enjoying it too because I am my own best company. Again, if you're watching this, guys, and you have not subscribed, I implore you, that red subscribe button don't cost you a dime. Press it. It's a free investment because once I hit these certain plateaus I was telling you about earlier, this channel will get better and better and better. And it'll become one of those shows that you will not that you'll be excited to watch. You know what I mean? Just like when Law Nation comes on and that tune, his own original beat, comes on. Dun, 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 dun. You start getting into it. You're getting excited about the show. This is exactly what this is gonna be. It's gonna be that. Maybe better. We never know. Law's the king right now. You know, it's gonna take a long time to hit 100,000 K. That's for damn sure. But right now I'd be happy for 500, and then for 1,000. Matt says, let's get a big win tomorrow. Get the 2 seed. Yes, sir. That is a plan. And the plan is not to struggle because we're on the road against Washington and they go to the fourth quarter. Plan is to end the game by halftime. They have 3 cornerbacks out and Jonathan Allen out. So starting the season, they had 4 studs on the defensive line. Chase Young, Montez Sweat, Jonathan Allen, Deron Payne. This game, only Deron Payne is playing. Allen Sweat gone. No. Young and Sweat gone. Allen out. Matt, next season, if possible, we should go Dallas Cowboys game. Be cool. Watch a game with you in the future if God let me. Yeah, Matt, you're more welcome to go with me. Me and my buddy try to go to, at least 2 a year. Like I went to the Buffalo game a month ago. Um, if I'd have known the outcome would have been like that, I would have saved my money to go to the Miami game. At least that would have been more interesting. Um, oh man, and then Bills fans, oh, they were letting us have it in the second half. All I could hear the Bills fans, all they kept saying is, "Here we go, here we go." Oh my god, oh gosh. But me and my buddy, we sat there throughout the fourth quarter when it started raining. It's cold. We're getting wet. We sat there until Buffalo took 2 knees and the clock hit triple zeros. We took the loss like men. And then we walked to the nearest diner because Uber was so packed we couldn't even get an Uber. So finally, there was an Uber available to take us back to our room. So I spent like $950 to go watch the Cowboys get beat down 31-3. But I could say I went to Buffalo and saw them play Highmark Stadium. My personal bucket list, one item on my bucket list is to see the Cowboys play every team live. You know what I mean? I want to go see the Cowboys play every team, no matter what stadium. My buddy, one of his items on his bucket list is he wants to see the Cowboys play every team at their stadium. That's a lot of traveling. That's 31, different stadiums. And then when they build new ones, you got to go to those, you know what I mean? So as soon as he gets close to hitting that bucket list, Buffalo's getting a new stadium. Some other teams might, I don't know. For me, I just want to see them play every team in person. Cool. Keep it in mind. Never a Dallas Cowboy game in person. Oh, so Matt, you've never been to a game? Yeah. AT&T Stadium is pretty cool because it seats 100,000 people. So like, if it's a big game, it gets real electric and real loud. But while you're there, if your seats are kind of high, you're watching that 50-yard screen the majority of the game. You're not really looking at the field because you really can't even see where the football is. That's the one thing I liked about Highmark Stadium in Buffalo is here in Texas we have stadiums, high school stadiums that are bigger than the Buffalo Bill Stadium. It's so damn small. But the cool thing about it was you could see everything. I mean, it's like the players are like 10 feet away from me, it felt like, and I was in the upper row, so I could see the ball. I could see everything that was happening on that second drive, on our first opening drive, when Dak had Cooks open. I saw Cooks get open. I saw Dak throw the ball. I could see the ball in the air, things that you really can't see when you're sitting at AT&T Stadium in the upper row. That's why people just watch the screen. Even the players, when they're on the sideline, when the defense is on the sideline, watching the offense, they're just watching the screen up above them. That's just how it is. Um, I would like to get playoff tickets, though. I would like to go to one playoff game. Because, man, could you imagine how electric it would be in that stadium during a playoff game? I don't care if it's a stand up ticket. You know what I mean? It'd be electric. Oh, man. Oh, the electricity in there, and I would be belting out I would be hoarse for 2 weeks. You know what I mean? Trying to be that 12th man. I hope Dallas Cowboys come back to my area in the future, like Vikings or Chiefs. You live in Iowa, so Iowa next to Minnesota or Kansas City? Iowa. Yeah, you're kind of in no man's land right there. I guess if you go to Minnesota like last season or Kansas City like in '01, I guess that's the closest game to you. You just have to save it for a plane ticket and fly down here to Texas. That'd be the easiest way for you to do it. It's between Minnesota and Kansas City. Yeah, so we're not going back to Minnesota or Kansas City until another 6, 7 years. So unless we play them, as one of the extra games. But yeah, next season remind me. I'll let you know how much tickets are. We'll try to make it happen. But yeah, path of I'm just gonna end it out with this. Path of least resistance is Green Bay beats Chicago tomorrow, right? They do that, they clinch the 7th seed. I personally don't want to see Seattle again. Even though we won 16 straight at home, I know this. But Seattle kind of, they gave me too much of a run for our money when we played them Thursday night. I know it was the last game of our 4 games in 18 days, but still, DK, you know, spun Deron Bland the whole first half. Thank God Gilmore was able to shut him down in the second half. But with Kenneth Walker, being healthy and, the whole team, yeah, I'd rather play Green Bay. Jordan Love playing pretty good, but their receivers over there, Watson, second year guy, pretty fast, but their receivers are nothing like DK Metcalf or Tyler Lockett or JSN. And the running back, Aaron Jones, pretty good. But save up money now for the trip. Yeah, Matt, start saving now, and by next season, you should have enough money for plane tickets, not much, and tickets, around 300 to 500. Put to you that way. But yeah. So I'd rather see Green Bay round one. So path of least resistance is Green Bay beat Chicago tomorrow, secures the 7th seed, comes to our place. I think we can handle them with no problem. I think Green Bay, like I said, is in a lower tier than we are. We're head and shoulders better than them. It would be like I think like a 41-17 type game against Green Bay. I do. And it would be like revenge against the Packers without Aaron Rodgers. They knocked us out of the playoffs twice in the second round when we had 2 really good squads. So that'd be our revenge there. And then Rams go to Detroit, who playing pretty good right now, and they can beat Detroit. If they knock off Detroit, then they go to San Francisco and we host Tampa Bay or Philly. I'd welcome either one to our crib. I believe we could whoop Tampa Bay and whoop Philly again, but like I said, that'd be the cherry on top would be to play Philly a third time and give them another beat down and send them packing. Us send them packing personally. You know what I mean? And then see what all the Philly fans have to say after that because just say Philly did beat Tampa Bay. And the Rams do upset Detroit. And Philly is coming our crib for round two. You know how much mess Eagle fans are going to be talking? And if we give them a beat down that they ain't seen in a long time, worse than last time, and send them home ourselves, oh, that'd be beautiful. And then the Rams are, like I said, one of the teams that can beat the Niners in the postseason, even if it's in the Bay Area. And if the Rams were to do that, then we would be able to host the chip game at our house against a team that we beat down earlier in the season 43-20. Now that's a different Rams team than the now, but still, they play really good against San Fran in the playoffs. They can, but against us, even with that running back they have that's toting the rock now, even with a healthy Cooper Kupp and Nakua and Stafford, I still think we're a better team than the Rams. McVay's a great coach. They're a good team, but they're a very young team, though. That's the thing. Stafford, Aaron Donald, Cooper Kupp, those three guys were key components in their Super Bowl run. But they don't have Jalen Ramsey no more. They don't have Odell Beckham anymore. A lot of them cats they sold the farm to get. They're one of the youngest teams in the NFL. So if they were to win 2 playoff games, that would be surprising, but I think they could do it. That would benefit us. And then, we could host if we could host the chip game against the Rams, that'd be the path of least resistance right there. But we would need the Rams to do what they do. But if the Rams don't and they go to San Fran and lose, then it would give us a chance to go slay the beast, the monster, the boogeyman that's, got us the last 2 years, knocked us out of the playoffs, and embarrassed us this season. You'd be reminiscent of the early 90s when we met 3 straight years in the playoffs. Even though that was 3 straight championship games, this would be 3 straight playoff games. But it would be kind of funny because it'd be wild card round, divisional round, then championship round. So it'd be like building up to the climax. 92, 93, we beat them. We beat them 20-30 in Candlestick, and then 38-20 at home. Then the following season at Candlestick, they beat us 38-28. So they got game 3. So if we met San Fran in the chip game and had to go to the Bay Area, I don't think our boys would be backing down. I don't think they'd be intimidated, not at all. I think if anything, they would want revenge. Just like we get against Green Bay round 1, even though Rodgers is not the quarterback. But, revenge is warranted. 2014, 2016. If we had the Eagles round 2, knock them off, that'd be the cherry on top of the playoffs. And then the dessert would be to go to San Fran and beat them in their own crib and get revenge for the last 2 seasons. That would be really earning your spot to go to Vegas. That would not be the path of least resistance. That would be the path of most resistance right there. No, not really. Path of most resistance would be all division winners win, and we got Detroit round 2. But either way, with Damian Wilson, the cat had, he had, like 37, 38 tackles in his 3rd and 4th year here because we had 2 monsters at linebacker and the Wolf Hunter and Jalen Smith. They were playing lights out at that time. So Damian Wilson wasn't getting a whole lot of action. But in 2019, 2020, 2020 he had over 100 tackles with Kansas City. So the man can play linebacker pretty damn good. And I think he's going to help out a lot in run defense. Marquise Bell really lighting the britches. It's a safety. So on run downs by, I don't think Wilson's going to play, tomorrow. He's getting acclimated to the system. He might have a pitch count. You never know. But having Damian Wilson and Damone Clark at linebacker on rundowns is better than Clark and Bell. And then you can keep Parsons at edge. But on rundowns, it seems to make more sense to have Tank and Dorrance at the end and have Micah at Mike linebacker on running downs. You know what I mean? Because he's very good at shedding blocks and getting to the running back. He doesn't need to be on the edge every damn play. He's not as good as stopping the run like Tank Lawrence. Tank Lawrence is a hell of a run stopping defensive end. I mean, especially on them big third and fourth and ones. I mean, he busts through that line and gets that running back behind the line of scrimmage. Micah is a pass rusher. He's pretty good at stopping a run. Against Detroit, he had that 4-yard loss, against their running back. But on running downs, he could play linebacker great too. So why not? I know Dan Quinn knows this. Why not have, Mike linebacker, Mo Clark next to him, and have Tank and Dorrance Armstrong on the end. Dorrance pretty good at stopping the run too. And then Jonathan Hankins and Osa Digizua right next to him. First down defense. And then when it's passing down, then let the lion loose. Let him, prowl around the line of scrimmage. You know what I mean? Man, I'm excited about tomorrow. Because tomorrow we handle business, then we officially lock up the 2 seed, baby. And the 2 seed is not like it used to be where you got the bye week 1, but still pretty damn good because you get to play at home. And we haven't had home field advantage until now. Since 2009, it's just been where teams love to come to play because, of the stadium and you're always on prime time or whatnot. But we've actually made it our house finally. After 14 years, we finally made AT&T Stadium our home field. The record is 18 in a row. Home wins from 79 to 81 under Tom Landry. A duration, through 3 different seasons. There were 13 game seasons then, So we're at 16 now. So if we can at least match the home win streak of 18, if we can match it, that means that we will be in the chip game. So if someone tells you in 2 weeks, Cowboys have tied the home win record of 18 in a row, that means we won round 1 and round 2. But we want to beat Washington and beat them decisively on the road just to get some road confidence. We played well at Miami. Had Hunter Lipke not fumbled that football, I believe the game would have been a completely different game. I really do. I mean, tone setters, that sets the tone, of the game. And having Hunter Lipke fumble that football at the goal line completely swings momentum. And then on 3rd and 8, hitting Jalen Waddle on a 50-yard pass completely swings the momentum of the game. Completely. Now, if Hunter Lipke would have corralled the ball correctly and gotten to the end zone and we go up 7-0, that game is a different game. And I guarantee you we probably go out there, leave with a W. But if it would have, should have, could have, we had a lot of shots this season to be the 1 seed at Philadelphia, November 9th. 6 yards. We have 27 seconds on the clock. No timeouts, but 27 seconds on the clock. And we are 6 yards away from victory. 6 yards. And we couldn't get those 6 yards. We go back 5 on Tyler Smith. And the thing is, we had the perfect play call on that 1st and goal from the 6. That's the killer part about it. If you look at all 22, our formation and the defense Philly had Tony Pollard, the play call that was played, Pollard would have walked right in untouched. Tyler Smith jumped. We go back 5 yards. Dak gets sacked. We get another penalty, and all of a sudden, before you know it, we're at the freaking 30. And, you got that. You got the Miami game. Because if we would have beat Miami, then San Fran would have to play tomorrow full throttle because the 1 seed would be on the line. But it's not because of those certain games that we did not close out. San Fran, we had no shot. Buffalo, no shot. But Miami, we did. At Philly, we did. At Arizona, that freak loss in week 3. I couldn't believe we lost that game either. I mean, I knew Trayvon went down on the Thursday practice, and I knew we had Ty Smith out, Zach Martin out, and Tyler Biadasz out. I knew that. Tyler Smith making his first start ever at left guard because he missed the first 2 games. I knew we had all backups basically on the offensive line, but I did not expect us to lose to 0-2 Arizona. So the Arizona game, the Philly game, and the Miami game could possibly cost us home field advantage. Possibly. But probably not, because even if we were 12-4 right now, the Rams are resting their guys tomorrow, so San Fran would have won anyway. With it, they had head-to-head, so we would have had to have won 2 of the games that we should have won instead of just one. 1 second, guys. Hey, baby dolls.
Hey, Daddy, meet me at McDonald's. Mr. Peter wants to take them out to McDonald's.
Okay, I you're on live right now on the Charles in Charge Cowboys Sports Report. Is there anything you'd like to say?
Go Cowboys.
Go Cowboys! All she has to say, but she's more of a diehard fan than that. All right, sweetheart. All right, okay.
You know how Mr. Peter is.
I know. Okay, I'll see you there. Bye. All right, guys, that's my cue to exit. Hey, guys, keep God first and foremost. Seek Him and His righteousness, and all these other things will be added unto you. I am a living testimony of that. It's my job to say that at the end of every video. I should start saying it at the beginning. Spread the word. You know what I mean? He comes before everything, even this. Enjoy your weekend, guys. Enjoy the game tomorrow. I'll be on live after the game, so please catch me live. Even I don't care if Law's live too. If Law's live too, y'all jump on my channel also, because I'm gonna be live tomorrow after the Washington Redskin game. They're the Redskins. They always will be. Dumbest thing, making them the freaking Washington football team and the Washington Commanders. And the Cleveland Indians, a baseball team, change their name. Like, are people getting that sensitive? Really? They're the Washington Redskins. They have been since the 30s. And to me, they'll always be the Redskins. And I think that Redskin logo looked a hell of a lot better than that W they have now. That's just my opinion. But that's it for this episode, guys. You have a good weekend too, Matt. Guys, please subscribe. Hit that subscribe button. Hit that like button. That like button basically just helps the video pop up on more different feeds. The more likes it has, YouTube is thinking the video, has something to it, so it'll pop up on people's feeds that aren't subscribed to me. So please subscribe. Please hit that like button, and please share this content, guys. Help the Cowboys Sports Report by Charles in Charge grow into what I know it can be, and it can be something real special. Some of y'all will love to tune into every time I turn this on, guys. All right, that's it for this episode. I'll catch y'all tomorrow after the game. Y'all have a good, safe weekend. Charles in Charge is out. Deuce.